Okay, runners only just arriving behind the line here for the running of race number 7. It's the JB Contracting Handicap, just slightly behind time. Still catching up from, of course, that delay with the scratching in the previous. Ruling Dame, $3.70, your favourite. So Likeable's had support, $4.60. Has been a handy enough horse throughout his career, So Likeable. He's won 6 from 47, stakes in excess of 100,000. Just his form of late hasn't been all that flash. Thanks, Alex. Yes, I was just mentioning on course, obviously with that delay in the previous due to the late scratching of Alounder Star, just playing a bit of catch up here, but all the runners are behind the line now, and a look at the market sees Ruling Dame, your favourite, $3.70, both fixed and on tote, ahead of So Likeable, who's had support into $4.60, shopping much better on tote with So Likeable. Kelly's Lizalu, $5. And then we go $8.50 about Hot Pudding and Abu, who of course is trained by Mac Hall, who took out the previous with Queen's Sacrifice after being heavily supported. So runners coming forward here, Kalgoorlie to join the line. It's been a long time between drinks for Kalgoorlie. I think in excess of 1,100 days since his last win, but he continues to earn. Here comes Ruling Dame, the favourite, Tash Faithful in the saddle. So 2 winners to Nev Parnham, 3 to Peter Fernie, 1 to Mac Hall, and 1 to be decided. Hot Puddin' about to come forward. Zephyr Johnston Porter to ride at his MRW of 54.5 kilos. Dancing Jack will don the club silks, the yellow ones. He's about to come forward. Dancing Jack lining up for another preparation. Of course, I think 2 preparations ago, he ran 3rd in a Boulder Cup. Here comes Prize Jewel into line. Prize Jewel dons the orange cap to differentiate it from Mountain Ash, the toppy, who's got Rocky Chung's 4-kilo claim. And it's Abu who's to come forward and complete the line. The bottom weight, Abu, an $8.50 chance with Tab Touch. And here's Scottish Laird, who just appears now to go forward as well. So Scottish Laird goes forward, Abu will be the last. A field of 10 to run. Our next meeting, Easter Friday. Good Friday. It'll be the second meeting here at the course, and that's prior to Anzac Day. Okay. Stand by, red lights on, 1300 ahead of them. The JB Contracting gates fly back. Kelly's Lizalu stood there, missed it, going back early on. Dancing Jack with early speed. So Likeable finds the front. So it's So Likeable who settles down in front from Abu. Hot Puddin' is up there prominent as well. Kalgoorlie's going to settle down 4th on the fence, being followed next of all by Mountain Ash. Then we had Ruling Dame, the favourite, who settles down midfield. The fence to Prize Jewel, who's saving ground. A further length and a half to Scottish Laird, who's in the clear in those orange silks. The outside then we had Kelly's Lizalu. And at the tail it's Dancing Jack. They leave the 800 metres behind them, where we have 8 lengths covering the field of 10. And it's So Likeable, who's been specced. Shows the way out by 2.5 lengths, Kalgoorlie. Abu's running 3rd. They were followed by Hot Puddin'. Then we had Mountain Ash with the stablemate Prize Jewel. Midfield, Ruling Dame just getting into his work now for Faithful. Then to the outside, Scottish Laird, Kelly's Lizalu, and it's still Dancing Jack. At the tail, on the point of the turn, it's So Likeable who brings them into the straight. Kalgoorlie trying to level up now. It's Kalgoorlie the outside who takes the lead. Prize Jewel in pursuit. Between runners, Kelly's Lizalu, and here comes Ruling Dame down the outside. Kalgoorlie joined by Prize Jewel. Here's Ruling Dame down the outside, but it's Prize Jewel who hits the lead, drawing away in the final stages, and Prize Jewel goes on and wins. Second across the line, Kalgoorlie. 3rd, Ruling Dame. 4th, perhaps Scottish Laird, just ahead of the pacemaker So Likeable. They were followed in next of all by Mountain Ash, and then we had Kelly's Lizalu, Hot Puddin', Abu, and at the tail it was Dancing Jack. Prize Jewel, Chris Nicol and Paul Tapper get on the board today. And Prize Jewel at $17. $17.10, $4.30, and closed at $16 with Tab Touch. Chris Nicol has given this mare a gun steer, and that's her 4th win today at start 19. That's a record of a pretty handy provincial sort of horse, Prize Jewel. And now a winner of 3 of her past 6 starts. So you'd almost suggest that price was well over the odds, having a good look at her form of late. 5-2-9-4-2 gets second. Kalgoorlie just continues to earn a check, this fellow. Kalgoorlie, the 7-year-old for Fredo Brown and Taj Dyson, no doubt the stable favourite, you would imagine. 9 gets third, that's Ruling Dame. Had every chance to come on in the straight, will improve leaps and bounds out of that run, you would think. And the 4, Scottish Laird, will get 4th, just ahead of the 3, So Likeable. So the numbers 5-2-9-4, a length and a half by a half head. The winning gallop 1:17.32. Prize Jewel for Paul Tapper, Chris Nicol by Prized Icon from Pintupi and owned by Nicky Jordan. Second in was the 2, Kalgoorlie for Rod Fredo Brown, Taj Dyson, by All American from Cambelly and owned by Teresa Brown. Third in was the 9, that's Ruling Dame for Pete Fernie and Tash Faithful, by Universal Ruler from Ferocity, owned by Nick Carapalotti, Josh Russmore, Craig Mitchell, B. Riddle, Kane Robinson, Craig Hahn, Rhett Foster, Carl Armstrong, Matt Armstrong. Also Ryan Mitchell, Al Coyle, A. Embley, T. Atkinson, B. Ryan, C. Lawson, A. Sedenick, Terry Layton, J. Gallo and T. Dunn. 4th in was the 4, and that's Scottish Laird for Ricky Brown and Kira Yule. 5-2-9-4 interim after the running of the JB Contracting, the lucky last. Well, as I touched upon prior to the race, make sure you join us on Good Friday. It's always a fantastic day at the races. Good Friday. And then we back it up the following Friday with Anzac Day. So we go the 18th of April into the 25th of April, of course, Good Friday into Anzac Day. 2 big days at the KBRC. Make sure you join us trackside. Interim numbers after the running of race 7, 5-2-9-4.